Tonight here with another special report. Since its reveal in 2018, Atomic Heart has earned near universal accolades for its rich atmosphere, compelling setting, and overall style reminiscent of BioShock. Journalists immediately dubbed it BioShock in the Soviet Union, expending all possible superlatives in hyping this game from Russian studio Mundfish. But there's a growing movement to discredit the game, with some linking Mundfish directly or indirectly to the Kremlin, and others saying it's born from nostalgia and even reverence for the USSR. So is Atomic Heart a Russian propaganda tool? The short answer is, it's hard to tell without playing it, but let's take a deeper dive. Atomic Heart is set in an alternate 1955, where the Soviet Union is the most technologically advanced nation on Earth, and robots have largely replaced humans in the workforce. What's left unclear is how a planned economy that relies on 0% unemployment can function with human labor made obsolete, but maybe the game provides an answer. At some point, the robots go haywire, and you play as a KGB officer nicknamed P3, tasked with investigating a manufacturing facility that's gone silent. Along the way, he'll combat hostile androids, mechanized creatures, and even zombified humans. You see, back in 1936, a Soviet researcher had the idea to create fluid information carriers and combine the properties of heavy water and silicon. The result was a plastic electric storage device called polymer, which would have far-reaching consequences. 3 years later, researchers used the electrochemical properties of polymer to create a compact cold fusion reactor, revolutionizing the field of robotics. In 1948, scientists launched a Collectic 1.0 system, linking the robots in a comprehensive neural network. And these mechanical beings slowly replaced humans in the workforce. They're able to build cities, handle logistics routes in the air and the ground, and help with natural disasters, amongst other functions. Shortly thereafter, the researchers create polymer simulative adaptation, basically the plasmids of this game, with a cybernetic twist to it. But with humans on the verge of joining the Collective Network, which is about to launch version 2.0, the robots begin running amok, and it's up to you to figure out why and put a stop to it. So the question is, where does the alleged propaganda come in? Well, for one, Mundfish is a Russian studio with indirect ties to the Kremlin. They describe themselves as a global team with their headquarters in Cyprus, and in response to the controversy, a belated response mind you, they claim to be a pro-peace organization against violence against people. We do not comment on politics or religion. Rest assured, we are a global team focused on getting Atomic Heart into the hands of gamers everywhere. And to be fair, that does track with their stance on the Russian-Ukrainian war, or lack thereof, since they haven't officially commented on it. But the founders do have links to Russian institutions, including Robert Bagratuni, a former top manager of Mail.ru, a Russian internet service. Tenuous links to be sure, but links nonetheless. Terms of service for the game dictate that your information, including your email, physical address, and IP, will be transferred to the Russian security service. A consumer enterprise with direct ties to an autocratic regime. Nope, doesn't ring a bell. Several critics have gone so far as to say that purchasing Atomic Heart directly supports the Russian military and bureaucratic apparatus. Then there's Atomic Heart's investors, including Tencent, a Chinese company, and two Russian firms, Gem Capital and Gaijin Entertainment. The founder of Gem Capital formerly worked for Gazprom, a state-owned Ruski enterprise, the largest publicly listed natural gas company in the world, and the largest company in Russia by revenue. The founder still has loose ties to Russian institutions, but again, he formerly worked for Gazprom, which would provide a much more direct link. Gaijin Entertainment, which despite the name is not a Japanese company, the firm moved from Russia to Hungary, possibly to superficially sever ties with the Kremlin, though the head of PR has spoken out in support of Russian policies. I have to admit, everything so far seems circumstantial. But what about the game's theme? It's set in an alternate Soviet Union where the Ruskies have surpassed the globe in science and technology, and it's saturated with vintage Soviet and commie decor. A lot of critics made an immediate connection to BioShock, and I can see that in its depiction of a fractured utopia, but I'd argue its aesthetics are more in line with Fallout and its 1950s atomic age motifs. Either way, the issue is where you draw the line between world building and reverence for your material. Because from the gameplay we've seen thus far, you already feel immersed in its Soviet atmosphere and 50s-era futurism. And the game's launch party doubled down on this Soviet ambiance, with slogans and decor ripped straight from the USSR. Several critics have rhetorically asked how we'd respond to a Nazi-themed launch party for Wolfenstein, to which I don't really have an answer. As for the alleged Bioshock inspiration, it's important to point out that the 2K Classic isn't really a comprehensive critique of Ayn Rand's objectivism. Director Ken Levine made it clear that Bioshock is more about the intersection between theory and reality, when utopian ideals turn into a dystopian hellscape. So if Atomic Heart goes by the same playbook, it may not necessarily condone or denounce the Soviet Union and, by extension, Russia. It could just immerse you in a world, alternate or not, that the West knows little about. I'm the last person to exonerate those filthy commies, but nor will I look for propaganda where it may not exist. The keyword being may. We'll find out more when the game releases on February 21st. Thanks for joining me for another special report. Please remember to like this video and subscribe to my televisual program, and I'll see you next time. This is Jimmy Midnight signing off.